All right, so today I want to talk to you about negotiation. And I don't want to talk from the standpoint that I know everything about negotiation, like I'm an expert in negotiating, because I'm not. I get my butt handed to me sometimes just like everybody else. But I am someone who understands that negotiation is a very important part of my business. So I want to get better at it. I want to go through the process and learn about negotiation, and I don't want to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Because here's what happens when you make the same mistakes in negotiating. You lose money, and you keep losing money. So in order to not lose money and keep losing money, we try to make sure that we're getting better and better at negotiation. Now, one of the things that you'll hear about in trucking when you start talking to carriers is you have one price out there and they have one price on their mind. Your price probably is going to be lower than the price that they have on their mind, and you go into the negotiation process to try and arrive at a price that you can both agree to. So let's just say you post a load at $1,500 and you and the carrier are talking and he says, I want to be at $1,800 on this load. And after you go back and forth a while, the carrier says these words to you: let's split the difference. So you're at $1,500, he's at $1,800. He wants you to split the difference between $1,500 and $1,800. So split the $300. So that would mean that you are going to take the load up from $1,500 to $1,650, a $150 increase. Now, I used to fall for the split the difference quite often when I first got started, because I always wanted to make sure that I got load moved. That was my first priority is, hey, I got to get the load moved. But what I realized is that I was leaving a lot of money on the table. I'm going for the split the difference when you really look at it. If a carrier is going to do it for $1,650, then there's a very good likelihood that he'll do it at $1,500. This is probably more so just icing on the cake. Now, sometimes it's, situations where that carrier needs to be wherever he is to get that load moved. But if you keep splitting the difference, you are going to keep leaving money on the table. I don't suggest that you ever split the difference. I would say negotiate hard for the price that you initially arrived at, because you came to that price for a reason. You started off at $1,500 because you were making X amount of dollars at $1,500. And when you're talking about what a standard profit margin is for freight brokers, you're probably at your 15%, 20% margin. If you start to decrease that, if you start to cut into that, then of course you're cutting into your own margin. If you go from $1,500 to $1,650, you're taking $150 out of your own profit. So I wouldn't suggest that you do that, or at least not lean to that as something that you just automatically do. Oh, okay, we'll go ahead and split the difference. No, always reject splitting the difference. Now, if it's going to stop you from getting a load moved and you have to get that load moved, well, that's a different circumstance. Because I would submit to you that it's probably not going to cost you the truck if you decide not to split the difference. The only reason why you're paying more for the load is because you agree to pay more for that load. If you exercise a little patience, even if you decided to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to move on from this carrier, sometimes that carrier would call you back and say, hey, we're going to go ahead and move that load. So practice some patience. Don't jump to increase the price. Don't jump to splitting the difference, because it's not in your best interest. That's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. If you're interested in learning more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description box. It's a link to my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It gives you an up-close and personal view of me in the office actually moving loads, talking to shippers, talking to carriers, so that you can get a better understanding of how this business works. And also, if you're ready to go ahead and get your load board, we're happy to be partnered with the best load board in the business. It's called TRUCKSTOP. I've been using that load board now for almost 9 years. Highly suggested if you're ready to get your load board. And just so happen, if you're ready to get it, we have the link in the description box that will give you 1 month totally free. So make sure you hit the description box and get your free link. Until the next time, I wish you the very best. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. See you at the top because the bottom is way, way too crowded.